Hello, welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage. On a Monday evening, it was a nice one, kind of warm today. Marcus and I, my son, just went to a car show at an old horse racetrack, one town over. It was catered, the food was pretty good, quite a few cars. And again, only 10 or 12 minutes away. Not a bad little trip. Now I'm back here. And I have been cleaning and organizing. My goal is before I convert that 4L80E to two-wheel drive, like I've been promising, I'm gonna have a clean bench. And that involved, my bench was pretty much covered in Turbo 400 parts. I have a shelf just out of your view. It's a metal rolling shelf that holds all my Turbo 400 hard parts and nuts and bolts and all 400 stuff related. I have 400 parts all over the shop, but this is where my pumps and drums and everything else sits. And that's what was also scattering on the bench. When I strip a transmission and don't use it all, I don't throw it away unless the parts are junk. Because if you do, you'll go reaching for it. So, to avoid that, I finally found this wonderful shelf. And someday when I relocate all the transmission stuff into one room, which is the goal, I will better organize, but I wasn't sure how I was going to organize it. I like to buy the plastic shoe boxes, but they're kind of big. And my buddy Charlie was cleaning out some stuff, and he gave me a bunch of blue boxes like this. This one I've thrown nuts and bolts into, but so I take them, I clean them out, I put some blue tape across the end after I put some packing tape on either end to make sure they're going to stay together because they're fairly old, I assume, and pretty well dried out, so a little bit of tape work on each box. I write on the end what it's going to be, and I have been tumbling bolts, like I had lots of valve body bolts that I'd cleaned, so they weren't oily anymore, just from sitting around. They start to get light rust on them. So I tumble them with steel shot in my tumbler that I bought and sort them all out. It just takes forever, but it has to happen and we're almost there. So this video has nothing to do with parts or anything else. It is about the fourth clutch on a 4L80E. I have been working on 4L80Es since the mid-90s. They came out in, what, 92-ish? And I didn't see any apart till mid-90s, so let's just call that 30 years ago already, right? Yeah. So, to assemble the fourth clutch, there's two square, call them quad rings, just call them lip seals, in this aluminum apply piston. This is a piston. It's kind of odd looking, but other than assembling the lip seals, this whole rig is pretty slick. You can load the clutches in it. You can put it in and out of the case in one piece if you want. Or you can just put the aluminum carrier in and assemble the clutches inside. Sometimes that's easier. The later ones have an ear that keep it from rotating. On the opposite side that's down right now, you load the clutches in, and this actually locks into a pin in the case. The later ones, not a bad rig to work on, with the exception of assembling the two aluminum pieces. So let's take it apart first, even though I have already taken the snap ring out of the center because I don't want to do that on film, because this thing is a meat cutter. It is sharp. You can compress it with your hands, but it'll jump up and just cut your finger to heck. So I wanted to concentrate on that every time, because I know people have got cut pretty bad messing with them. But this thing, again, you can compress it with your hand, but there's quite a few little springs, and these lock the snap ring in, so it's not hard to do, but requires your full concentration. That is a razor blade right there, so beware of that. But once you get that out of there, it just falls apart into two pieces. There's a ring here and a ring there. Again, for 30 years of working on them, I didn't have the service tools. They weren't readily available. And I just learned to do it the hard way, you know, either with a snap-on toolbox, a drawer release tool, which is like a feeler gauge or feeler gauges, or the different styles of lip seal installation tools. You got to work your way around carefully, and it's not ideal, but you can do it. I had to do it. There was no choice. Anybody that worked on these for the first few decades they were out probably didn't have the service tools. Now, I don't know what I paid for this. I bought the 3-piece set. They also sell you a 1-piece set. But I bought the 3-piece set, and I don't remember what I paid, but I just checked today, and you can buy all 3 pieces for less than $140 on eBay. No, I don't have the part number. Just look it up. 4L80E, 4th clutch, lip seal tool, and you'll find it. So I thought this video would just use it. I've only recently started using it. It came with no instructions whatsoever, but it is relatively intuitive, I guess. So this is actually going to go this way. So I figured out right away that this was the base, and this is handy. It's quite a rugged piece. I mean, you get your money's worth with these tools. I'm sure they're offshore, but they're beautiful. And there's a relief in it that I put down because it didn't seem to have any other use, but this area did. So that's going to be just our pedestal to work on. So you would install your ring, lube it up real good, and this one sits just like that in this one. Get the goop off of there. This it's like a top hat. It's going to carefully go down, and you got to be careful. You got to work it down into the seal. Oh, let me show you. There's a seal right there that you put in, and you lube up, good shape. And you got to work this down in here. It's easy to cock it, but you'll know when it's right and when it's wrong. You don't want to hurt anything. You got to see if you've cocked it. And if you did, you can kind of work it around a little bit, not too much. And when it's right, it's right. And it went in, just like that. Now, I'm going to set that like that, but don't let it fall apart, and hold the whole thing. Put it on your pedestal. Your pedestal is holding the piston up now. Now we need to push here. And it's that easy. Now, you just assembled it just like that. Now, if you want to hold it together without it falling apart, you could remove this seal installer, but you don't have to. It's out of the way. And on the pedestal right now, you can go ahead and reassemble your snap ring, because if you try to do this without the pedestal, you'll push it apart. I used to put it on a piece of pipe that I had or whatever. Again, you can push it down by hand, but so let's just do that one more time. So let's just say we took it out like that because you wanted to remove this. It falls right apart. So once again, I'm going to go with the same lube I had. Put that in there. Again, this one fights me a little bit. Probably it's time for more lube. Let's see if I can do it more gentle. She's in. Set the two halves together. Don't let them fall apart. Put it over the pedestal. Come on. There we go. And we're done. Again, then now you would install your snap ring. I went ahead and shut the camera off because I didn't want to lose my hands, but now I've got the snap ring in there. You're using the pedestal, you can push it down and just work it in between these raised pieces and stuff it into the groove. Now that's good to go. And then this would fit in just like, get it right, just like that. And with the clutches in it, and then you'd put the snap ring over, and that is your complete fourth clutch. if I had clutches and steels. So I've had a few requests to do this video, and I know when I convert the 4L80E to two-wheel drive, coming right up, I promise, I'm not going to take the fourth clutch apart. I can air check it by simply blowing air through the hole, or you can do it. It has a bolt along the same idea as a center support bolt. Has a hole in the middle, and that's where the fluid comes to apply. Of course, you can use air, but you can check it right here on the bench, or you can put it in the case and check it that way. But so you know if it works or not, which is, you know, always a good thing to air check it. And that way you know, at least that portion of it, when you assembled the lip seals, you didn't hurt anything. So it's amazing with the right tools how easy this is, because I'd probably spend 5 or 10 minutes before and then assemble the whole thing and air check it, and I didn't really have any trouble. But if you're going to do a few of these, you know, $130, I know I paid more. I know I paid over a couple $100. I don't even want to look it up. But again, that's what the 3 pieces do. And once you figure that out, pretty smooth sailing. So, all right, catch you next time.